it's very important for people to realize that it is the people who are sovereign. We need to understand the power that we have. It's very important that you understand the power that you have. Understand that you are sovereign and that the government only has the power that we, the people, grant to them. I've said that many times before. But you need to understand the power of yourself and particularly understand the power of your community. Because the power of a unified community is incredible. And it is that type of power that the elite most fear, because when communities are unified, they simply can't be controlled. And the elite know this. They absolutely know it. And that's why they seek to divide everybody all the time, why they get you with class division and race division and all sorts of division, anything they can think of. They keep you all locked up inside watching TV and all thinking the worst about your neighbours. They teach you there's a sucker born every minute, that people are made for you to profit from. All of this sort of stuff. And it's very important for you to realise that all of that is completely illusionary. Your neighbours are just like you. And it's very important that you maintain a clear mind and a clear head to address these things. So I keep telling you again, you've got to avoid all of these toxic foods. You've got to avoid all these heavily processed foods, diet soft drinks and things, aspartame, artificial sweeteners, especially fluoride. You've absolutely got to get fluoride out of your diet. And just turn your televisions off, folks. Please turn your televisions off. Get back in touch with the world a little bit. I mean, that's truly what's required for the human race. We've really reached a turning point in history, and the biggest and most effective way we can address it is to turn off our televisions and realize our connection with each other. It's so important for people to see these connections and understand the power of these connections and understand the power that they have to affect change in the world. Well, we're getting close to the end of the show, folks. Do realize the power that you have. Ignore corrupt legislation, such as the introduction of Codex Alimentarius. Understand that these things aren't laws, and I'm not telling you to break any laws. I'm just telling you to ignore corrupt legislation, because such legislation isn't really law at all. It's actually crimes against humanity. It's environmental terrorism. It's bioterrorism. And it's crimes against humanity. So, as sovereign people of the planet, you are not subject to these laws. You don't have to obey them. The people that are enforcing such legislation are criminals. You don't have to do what criminals tell you to do. It doesn't matter whether they've got a white collar on and they're standing in Parliament House. They are still criminals. It makes no difference what their status or position in society is. If they're enacting corrupt legislation, then they're committing crimes against humanity, and you don't need to obey by these so-called laws. Remember your birthright. It is your birthright to have healthy food, to have clean water, and to have clean air. So anything that infringes upon that birthright is no law. It is entitled to no obedience, and you should remember that. You should stand up and make noise about it and simply say no. We will not do this anymore, and maybe even take steps to replace the criminals that are in power with someone who is a little bit more for the people, shall we say. Someone who cares a little bit more about the human race, because people who enact these types of legislation simply don't care about the human race. All they really care about is themselves and the banksters that they work for. And remember, the plan is depopulation. They would like to cut the world population down by 80%, as indicated on the Georgia Guidestones. It's all very obvious the way they're doing this. All the systems are now in place, how they intend to do this. And you can see that it is through Codex, it is through wars, it's through starvation, it's through crashing the global economy. All of these things are being done by design, and so you need to look at them, you need to address them, and you need to simply stop complying with this system. It makes no sense to comply with a system that is not acting in the best interest of the people. And that's really the way this whole situation needs to be viewed. Remember the words of John F. Kennedy, who said that when peaceful revolution becomes impossible, violent revolution becomes inevitable. and we do not want violent revolution. The elite want violent revolution, but we don't. What we need is peaceful non-compliance, peaceful revolution in the form of non-compliance, and we need for people to understand the evolution of consciousness that is occurring. And that's how we address this issue. That is ultimately the best way to address all of these issues. So that's the way you need to look at things, folks. Understand your power and act upon it. It makes all the difference. Don't forget we have the Intention this weekend, the Great Intention, which takes place at 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. That will be happening right around the world, so you can be quite comfortable in the knowledge that there will be thousands upon thousands of people all around the planet doing what you are doing at exactly the same time that you are doing it. And that in itself is a very empowering thought, to think that all these people will be sitting there projecting this energy into the field at exactly the same time. So please participate in that. As I said, it will be an ongoing thing that happens every week at the same time. So if you do miss out on this one, please feel free to join the next one, and your participation is always greatly appreciated. Do visit the website, thecrowhouse.com. I update it regularly. I won't actually be updating it for the next 6 days though, because I will be away. I will be spending 6 days in Byron Bay. I've got a lot going on down there, as I spoke to you about previously. I'll be promoting the new film. I will be enlisting the help of Shaman and a lot of other people at the Intention, and that should be a very, very interesting day. If you can help with a donation, the site does function solely on public funding at the moment. I've exhausted all of my finances on the website, so it's up to you now, folks. If you want the site to keep going, if you enjoy the radio shows and you enjoy the information, please do help out with the donation. All the donations are recycled back into the website and into distributing this information to the public. So it's all up to you. And maybe even open your own website. Maybe burn some DVDs, get them out to people. Do everything you can. It has to be done on a grassroots level. You can't expect any of the media to help with this in any way, shape or form. So it needs to be grassroots, and the movement is going ahead in leaps and bounds. People really are waking up in droves, which is a very, very gratifying thing to see. I personally think that it's a wonderful time to be alive. I really do. I am so happy to be here for the big show, because this is the main event, folks. This is the main event. This is where humanity gets to free itself. And I'm very proud to be part of it, and very proud to have come into this reality at this particular time. I wouldn't live at any other time on earth for all the tea in China. I'm quite happy to be here right now, experiencing everything exactly as it should be. It's just great to see how the consciousness wakes up, and to see how we do return to what is right, what is moral, and what is valued. So I'll see you all again next week. It's been a pleasure to be with you again. The show will be live again next week, so I'll be able to take phone calls again. Have a wonderful time, and I will speak to you then. Bye for now.